Let's take a moment to talk about Superman and his intelligence. In particular, let's talk about how Superman's brain is basically a supercomputer and how it can take in information, utilize that information, and retain that information. Originally, this was going to be another feat video in which I was going to use Superman's intellect to help support some other feats. But because his intellect feats are so crazy and wild, I figured I might as well talk about them themselves. So let's just get right into it. Let's start things off with Action Comics issue number 12. In this issue, Lois Lane is critically injured. Her injuries are so severe that she does not have the time necessary in order to go through the operation that could save her life. Superman races to a library and reads every medical text ever published in order to learn how to perform the surgery. Superman then proceeds to do the surgery and saves Lois's life. What's fascinating about this is that Superman basically learned a decade's worth of information in just a matter of seconds. He learned every single medical technique through these texts, absorbed that information, and was able to apply it for surgery, something he's never done before. This showcases, one, the amount of information that Superman can take in at any given time, which is astronomical. Number two, his ability to retain that information. Unlike someone like the Flash, who would forget this information after a certain point, Superman retains it completely. And number three, this showcases Superman utilizing that information to almost perfection, even though he's never done the surgery before. Let's jump over to one of my favorite feats of intellect for Superman, which we see in Final Crisis issue 6, leading into Final Crisis issue 7. In this issue, Brainiac 5 introduces Superman to the Miracle Machine. The Miracle Machine is quite possibly one of the most powerful and advanced pieces of technology in all of comics. It can take thought and turn it into reality. It was so powerful and dangerous that Brainiac 5, along with the rest of the Legionnaires, locked it away, fearing that any stray thought could be a detriment to reality. Brainiac 5 allows Superman to gaze upon the Miracle Machine and to look at it. Just look at it. And from this, Superman is able to completely memorize every nut, every bolt, every detail of the Miracle Machine, and use that information that he retained from just looking at this thing to build another one. He even states that Brainiac 5 allowed him to look at the Miracle Machine for no more than a few seconds. This again shows that in just a short amount of time, Superman can absorb information at such a high level in concept that he can rebuild the Miracle Machine from just a few seconds of looking at it. Here's another one that I really like. In Action Comics issue number 14, Superman is apparently chilling with Neil deGrasse Tyson in this backup story. It is stated, while looking at basically where Krypton was, that the supercomputer at this space station would take years to integrate all the data and assemble it into just an image. Superman does it in seconds. Superman is basically able to do within seconds in his mind what would take a supercomputer years to. Absolutely wild. And we'll finish off with how Superman can passively absorb information too. In Superman 655, while on this airplane, Superman states that not only is his memory perfect, but he can also absorb information passively just by looking at it. He doesn't even need to be focused. His mind can be elsewhere, and he's still absorbing information, knowledge, and data. It's easy to overlook Superman's intellect feats because of his more fantastical and bombastic abilities such as speed, strength, flight, durability, so on and so forth. But it's easy to see here, when applying himself, Superman's intellect, his brain capacity, his ability to absorb knowledge and data is unmatched by anyone on Earth and possibly in the DC universe in its entirety. When you think of the capabilities of Superman and his brain power, Brainiac's the only one I can think of that would naturally be better than him. So just you now know, the S on his chest isn't just for super, it's for smart too.